26. Faith, from Abel to Noah. Hebrews 11, 4-7. By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because God had translated him, for before his translation he had this testimony that he pleased God. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not yet as seen, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Hebrews 11, 4-7. As Hebrews 11 develops the meaning of faith, we see that this gift of God becomes also a part of man's being, so that God's gift and man's will become united towards the same goal. God works in man, but man is now God's redeemed person, a new creation by God, and one in whom God works his will. Thus, faith is not an alien power controlling us, but the essential part of our new nature in the Lord. Paul in 2 Corinthians 5:17 tells us, quote, "If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature, or creation. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new." End quote. To be a new creature or creation means that, whereas before we sought to be our own God and law, Genesis 3:5, now we strive to be what God intended man to be on the sixth day of creation. Instead of striving to be original, hence our original sin, we are happily derivative. We know ourselves to be God's creatures and not our own. We therefore know that not only is our faith his gift, but all our being and also every atom of our being is of his making. In verse 4 we are told, quote, "By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh." End quote. Genesis gives much evidence that God had revealed his law to his people long before Moses. Sacrifices of atonement had to be clean animals. Cain's sacrifice was one of thanksgiving, not atonement. Abel's sacrifice was alone acceptable to God, and it alone set him apart as a righteous or just man. Jesus himself speaks of Abel as righteous in Matthew 23:35. In 1 John 3:12, we are told that Cain's works were evil and Abel's righteous. While dead, Abel still speaks to us. In a fallen world, the godly are hated, but theirs is the final victory in Christ. 1 John 5:4. In verse 5, we have the remarkable case of Enoch, who was transferred from this world to heaven, Genesis 5:21-24. He did not see death. We are not given the details nor the highlights of his life, other than, quote, "that he pleased God," end quote. The time of Enoch and of all the godly patriarchs before the flood was one of extremes. The conditions which marked paradise still prevailed around the world, and one consequence was longevity. Enoch, whose life did not end in death, was on earth 365 years, while his son Methuselah lived 989 years. Genesis 5:23-27. Without the judgment of a short lifespan, man was able to indulge freely in his will to do evil. In fact, for some centuries, death was a rarity because of man's longevity. At the same time, because the world was fallen, this longevity made life difficult for the godly because the penalty of death was remote, and fallen men could be contemptuous of judgment. For this reason, we are told of three of the saints of that era, Abel, Enoch, and Noah, as examples of faith. Their stand was a lonely one and difficult. In verse 6, we are plainly reminded that, quote, Without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. In verse 3 we are told that creationism is essential to the life of faith. Now, two things are added. Faith means believing that God is, and also that he, quote, is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, end quote. God is unseen, but he is omnipresent. To believe in God means recognizing not only his absolute determination of all things as he who is, but also his total power and presence in all things, omnipresent, but never exhaustively present. He is the creator, governor, and judge. Faith knows him to be the rewarder. We do not determine the reward, he does. He sets the course of our lives and our reward in terms of his purpose, not ours. In verse 7, we are told of Noah's faith. He heeded God's warning and prepared an ark. His act condemned a world which refused to heed God's warning and no doubt mocked Noah's faith. By this act of faith, Noah saved his family but condemned the world. He thus, quote, became heir to the righteousness which is by faith, end quote. This is a remarkable statement because men are prone to see Noah's act in terms of the loss it entailed, the loss of kin and of possessions. In exchange for life in an empty world with none in it save his family, but he became, we are told, quote, heir of the righteousness or justice which is by faith, end quote. He was in God's sight now justified, righteous, and a citizen of God's new creation to come. True, man's longevity was soon a reduced one, and sin once again had its way. The Tower of Babel lay ahead in much, much evil, but Abraham was an heir, eternally so, of the righteousness which is by faith. We are told of Noah that he was, quote, moved with fear, end quote, godly fear, and this is greatly in his favour. It is a dangerous thing to be unafraid of God, and one can question the reality of faith where there is no fear. Since all things are under God's eye and his judgments are inescapable, the absence of a godly fear is a deadly blindness. Others in Noah's day laughed at Noah's warnings and paid a price for it. Quote, moved with fear, end quote, can be rendered, quote, taking forethought, end quote. Godly fear moves wisely. 2 Peter 2:5 tells us that Noah was, quote, a preacher of righteousness, end quote, to his age. These few verses 4 to 7, carry us from the fall to the flood. They tell us that faith expresses itself in obedience. It acts in obedience to God. Again, to be, quote, moved with fear, end quote, means far more than an emotional reaction. It means, quote, taking forethought, end quote, because we believe that God is, and that he is both a rewarder and a punisher. We cannot evade the fact that we are here to serve God, not ourselves, and our response to him will determine our future. Our faith is a condemnation of this present world order and an affirmation that God is, and that he alone is the great and final judge. With the fall, men began to build a world order based on man as his own God and his own source of law, Genesis 3:5. This effort still goes on. God's people in Christ represent a new human race called into being to establish God's world order with Christ as king. What fallen man seeks to do in terms of Genesis 3:5 is an act of faith, but an anti-God and demonic act of faith. Our act of faith is grounded in the certainty of God as creator, Christ as our redeemer, and our recreation as God's ordination of a new creation in terms of his word and purpose.